GuitarLessons.com, the #1 name in guitar lessons online.
Welcome to GuitarLessons.com, and in this lesson we're going to learn something really exciting. At least it was exciting for me when I first learned it. It's called the CAGED guitar sequence. The reason it was so exciting for me when I first learned it is because it got me out of playing just in one shape, in one position on the guitar. It got me to where I could play in at least 5 different positions on the guitar neck, and that's basically what the CAGED sequence is. It's a layout or a roadmap to your fretboard to help you navigate up and all the way down your guitar fretboard. There are a couple of things you need to know before you start learning this, and the first one is exactly those chords, C, A, G, E, and D. So if you don't know them, you should probably get to where you know those first. The second thing, and probably the harder thing you need to be able to do, is be able to make a bar anywhere on the fretboard. Let's try the 3rd fret, for instance, on that where your G note would be on your low E string. And you should be able to make those open chords using that bar shape. So C, A, G, E, and D. So that's a really important thing for you to be able to do before you try and tackle this CAGED guitar sequence all the way up and down the fretboard. So let's choose the key of C. Since CAGED starts with a C, that'd probably be the easiest for you guys. Let's make a C chord, just a regular old plain open C chord. Okay. So what's next in the sequence? C, A. So we're going to think an A chord. The rule that you need to remember to be able to go to the next chord in the sequence is take the highest note you just played on the chord before, like on the C chord, and that's where your first or your lowest note is going to be played on the next chord in the sequence. So if the 3rd fret is the highest note I have, that's going to be the lowest note on my next chord. So if you know your A bar chord, start on the 3rd fret and then play your A bar chord. Right? So if this is a C and your root note is right here on your 3rd fret on your A string, that same root note is going to apply to our A chord, our A-shaped chord that's actually a C. And it's going to be a C as well. It's the 2nd chord in the sequence. So if we have C, A, the next one we're going to have is a G chord. So take our rule, look at our highest fret we're on, go make a bar on that fret, which is the 5th fret, and then you're going to make a G chord. This is probably the most brutal one out of all of them. It's pretty hard to play. And a lot of times I don't even bother with the lower 2 notes. I just hit the top 3 or 4 strings because it's a lot less muddy and it's a lot easier to play. But you can do it either way you want to. So, having that down, this G, which is actually a C, G shape, that's our next C in the sequence. We're going to take the highest note, which is on, let's see, this is the 8th fret, make a bar there, and then the next chord in the sequence would be C, A, G, E. So we'll take that bar, make an E chord shape, which is just another C, play that. It's probably a shape that everyone is familiar with. The root is still right here. So we've got one left, C, A, G, E, D finally. So take the same rule, go to our last fret that we were on, make a bar. This time we're going to leave off the 6th string. Don't ask why. It's easier to just know that you leave off the 6th string and make a D shape right up here. It's like a D bar chord. And you can either play the 5th string or you can leave it out. Doesn't matter, whichever one you prefer. Our actual C note is on the 10th fret on the D string. So when we come back to our C chord, it's the only time where the lowest or the highest fret rule doesn't apply. So our highest fret is the 13th fret here, but when we come back to our C chord, we're going to be having our bar on the 12th fret, and then put down your C shape with your pinky holding the C on the root note, the lowest note of the chord, and play that. Now there's a couple things you want to remember when you're practicing this. The first thing you want to remember is when, say you have your C chord down here, you want to be able to visualize the next chord before you attempt to go there. Otherwise, you're going to be playing your C and you're going to be like, oh, where is it? Where did it go? You want to be able to hit that C and think, okay, my bar is going to be on the 3rd fret, and I'm going to be playing an A shape bar chord. You can just hop right to it. And then visualize the G, make your bar, hop right to it. Visualize an E, make your bar, hop right to it. Visualize the G shape. Finally, visualize the C shape. Now what you probably want to do is pick a key every day or every week and just go through it and just ingrain this in your head. The more you practice it, the more you're going to be able to float around on the fretboard and not be really confined to just one position or one area of the fretboard.